So, of course, one of the interesting things about speaking to Francine today is that since the last interview, there's been a lot of changes behind the scenes. Isaac Pears now moved to iHeartRadio, and there's also been a lot of YouTube focus. So we'll start with Francine on this hilarious topic to kick off the conversation. What's been, how your struggles been doing with YouTube? Because as of today, Keep the 100 just get hit with a ridiculous flag for community guidelines for sexual content because we uploaded a video talking about Alicia Atout, the interviewer woman.
Yeah.
Apparently that's considered sexual content.
Did you say something about the way she holds a microphone?
Yeah, but only in her DMs.
Okay. I mean, what did you say that you were flagged for? I mean, don't abbreviate it.
Oh, no. Well, basically, she's going out with the guy MJF in real life.
Oh, is she really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, apparently shit. And so the fans are pissed off about it because she's also dated, now will you hear this, 2 other wrestlers in 3 or 4 years. Like, that's an enormous number.
Who cares? Let me say something. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. When you are a wrestler or a manager or a referee and you are on the road 5 days a week, you do not have a social life. You come home, you get your gear ready, and you get on a plane in a day or two, and you go back on the road. So people in the locker room are going to gravitate to each other, and they're going to date. They're going to hook up. They're going to do stuff together. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. People date each other in other fields. So why do these girls in the professional wrestling business get such a bad reputation for dating one of the boys?
Well,
and I don't want a bullshit answer, Hughezy. I don't want a funny answer. I want a real answer.
I'll give you the real answer.
Yes, give me a real answer.
A lot of the guys that watch pro wrestling are miserable and they hate the world, and it's everybody else's fault but theirs. It's your fault that they're fat. It's someone else's fault that they never went for that job interview, and it drives them insane when somebody like Alicia Atout is going out with the guy like MJF, who apparently is making 7 figures, and he goes to this thing called a gym. So
JIM?
So exactly what wouldn't she like about him? I mean, of course I wouldn't know if he's good looking or not. I'm a fucking man. I don't know anything about that shit. But this is the problem. It's like with keeping it 100 in the comment section. If there's ever a video about a woman who just say had like a bad match or a bad interview, the fans would go, just say Rhea Ripley. They go, she needs to quit and do porn or go into OnlyFans. It's just like because of a body slam not looking good.
Right. Everybody messes up. No one's perfect in this world, number one. I wonder if now I didn't hear any of this backlash about her. She's a friend of mine. I like Alicia a lot. Yeah, I like her. We've done signings together. We've interviewed each other. She's a sweetheart. Is it because of who she is dating? Is it because of the guy? Or is it because he is a worker? And people are getting fed up because she's just dating wrestlers. Because again, if you're on the road and you're not home, who else are you going to gravitate to?
Well, she makes the mistake of being a nice person. Vince Russo had this issue, which is one of the reasons why Get My Go became the empire that it is. Where Vince Russo made himself too accessible to fans. And fans can't tell the difference between fan and star. They think Vince Russo's my friend now. Or, Alicia Atout liked my fucking Facebook message. I think she's into me. Why is she dating this muscular guy instead of giving me the blowjob at the Burger King car park like a real woman should? No offense, Chad. But with...
none taken.
Really?
None.
Okay. Weird.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I just think that sort of stuff, and this is, I don't know, it's like a hot take, but I think that the incelness and the angry maleness of the fans, it's ridiculous. And this whole shit about like they did a Saudi event there, and obviously women aren't allowed to show things like, you know, gross things like elbows or you know, or a revolting perverted forearm. I mean, those whores, who do they think they are?
Right.
But of course the guys are going just, oh, well, why would the women go to these shows? They can't wrestle, they can't do this. It's like, because they're probably getting a 5 to 6 figure bonus check, you dumb fat fuck.
Again, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. I do understand, like what you just said. Sometimes if I like somebody's post, or if I comment on somebody's post, they'll tell people we're friends.
Yes.
Stuff like that, that I've never met these people, so no, we're not friends. I don't mean to be mean. I just feel like it's a fan. I hate to say celebrity, but in that aspect, you know, that's what the relationship is. And I kind of went through this when I had our Discord page, when we used to do Patreon, and I would talk to people every Tuesday. And I had the same little group like every week, and we really did get to know each other on a different level, because you talk about more personal stuff than just wrestling. You're with these people every week. One of them had asked me, are we real friends, or am I your fan? And as hard as it was for me to say, I said, well, right now you're paying to talk to me. I don't charge real friends to talk to me. So, not being a jerk, but there's your answer right there. If you're not going to pay me or somebody else on a platform, I'm not going to sit here for an hour and speak. You know what I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but some people just can't separate the two. And because some people are nicer than other people on certain platforms, they feel like they have a bigger connection with you. And I generally love my fans that I have. I love conversing with them, but they're fans and they're great people, you know, but I wouldn't go as far to say they're my friends, because my friends are people that I hang out with and talk to on a regular basis.
Yeah. And I just think the fact that in the eyes of these guys, that the 3 relationships over 3 or 4 years is too much. Like that used to be back in my day, back in the good old days. 3 or 4 in a weekend wasn't it the question? Oh, right, Chad?
That's right. I feel like it's getting worse though. You know, it's like now social media becoming more and more emphasized. It's getting worse because now they feel like they have more of a say. And the more that's getting revealed, and we feel like we know these people more and more, and they share more and more, it's getting worse. And so I don't follow it as closely as maybe others do, but I didn't even know that she was dating MJF. So I was completely out of the loop on that. But for somebody to be that closely like involved, to comment that strongly on somebody's relationship, who gives a shit? Who cares?
Who cares?
You sound pretty angry about it, Chad. Are you going to DM?
No,
her?
but go back in the day. You know, if you go 20 years ago, like back when the OVW crew in the mid 2000s, you know, those guys were everybody was dating everybody. You didn't find that out until 10 years later because there wasn't that kind of access. But who cares if they were dating everybody? You know, it's just like it's real life, but the fans just blur the line too much between real life and wrestling. So. Again, but it's not getting any better.
Let me say something. If I don't want something discussed, I don't post it. Right? If I want certain things to be private, I'm not on social media saying, oh, I have this and I do this. I never show pictures of my children because I don't feel, for me, I don't want my kids' faces out there, because I've had people come to me and say, ooh, does your daughter look like you? One guy pissed me off so bad I had to block him. My son did the cutest thing. He walked into the room and he was staring at me with such love. And he said, Mom, I think you're beautiful. I love you. And he gave me a kiss and he walked away. And I put that on social media because I thought it was endearing, right? One guy goes, did he have a heart on? He's my 11-year-old son. This is why I get so irate with something. Why would you say something like that? You know what I mean? That makes me want to punch you in the face. So he got blocked, and people were like, are you crazy, man? Why would you? So my kids are off limits. So I don't post anything about my kids. Getting back to them, if they didn't want anyone to know that they were dating, they wouldn't have dropped those little hints and putting their little hearts on Instagram. They want people to know they're an item. And that's fine. It creates a buzz. It makes both of them, get in people's conversations more. We're in this. We're brands. We're all a brand. I'm my own brand. He's his own brand. She's her own brand. You want your name out there, right? I'd rather it be good than bad. But not everybody agrees on every subject. So if they didn't want backlash, they should have kept it quiet. And that's just the way it is. In today's world, you go to the bathroom and it's on social media. Like, who cares?
You got to pay extra for that.
Really, it's becoming too much, but I feel like you put out there what you want the world to see.
Yeah, and I think that as well, that this was another topic that Keeping the 100 get emailed about, was that the guy Vladimir, the super fan guy, they made a documentary about him, and somebody made a great point in that. Do you think now that the fans are going to try to make a scene so that they may one day get a network documentary? And the crazy thing is, when you see people like that fat fuck wrestling otaku and fucking JD from New York, and the others, I can't think of anybody else that's as bad as them. They're demented. Like I'm a fan of Marvel, but if you don't like the Marvels, I'm not going to be like, fuck you, get cancer, bitch. I'll be like, all right.
The ECW fans were a part of the show, right? If you go back to ECW, that guy Vladimir was a different entity on his own, playing field. Everybody knew him because you saw him in the front row. It was just nice that they honored him with that little documentary and told his story. The fans of today, they couldn't hold Vladimir's tank top that he used to wear at ringside. Okay, it's not even it's apples and oranges. But if they think that they're even like the ECW fans that Francine used to walk by, it's not even comparable anymore. So no, there will never be a documentary about anybody from today's fan base.
There's two takes on the Vladimir thing from the boys. Some of them are ecstatic for him. And he's a very nice man. I've met him. He's a very, very nice man going through some stuff. Some of the people are very happy. Then there's some of the guys who are like, why does he deserve an action figure? I never got an action figure and I'm an actual worker. I've been on TV. He's a fan. Why does he get a documentary? Why does he get an action figure? So it's kind of like 50-50. With what I'm hearing, like some people are really behind it and some people are like, who's this guy? Why does he even deserve it? There are plenty of people who sit in the audience and go to a lot of shows. Like, what makes him special? So there's a mixed reaction to that. And I think his doc is doing pretty well. I didn't watch it, but I hear it's really good. And he's a devoted fan. I will give him that. He's very devoted and supported, wrestling for years and years and years. But some people are very salty because they never got an action figure. They never got a doc. And then, I'm in the business 20, 30 years and blah, blah. Go talk to somebody over in production and see what they can do for you. I don't know.
If anybody,
it was shelved. Hang on, Hughezy. It was shelved for 2 years, so it's not like they were in a rush to get this thing out. So it's not like it was on the new release bid and they were like, "Hey, we got to get this out right now." It was like, we can finally press play and put it out to the world. So they were in no rush to send this thing to the masses. It was shelved for a very long time.
And if anybody's wondering who Francine was quoting there, she was quoting Disco Inferno.
No, I was not quoting.
I'll edit that part out, what you said.
I don't know if he said that or not. I just, from what I hear, it's mixed emotions about, I can understand both sides.
Well, to be honest, I can understand that coming from people in the industry, but for the fans to be hitting on the women, I just think like it's another reason why. Like I'll give you. There's a thing that happens here. It's called OTT wrestling, and they get these American names over, and they tour Ireland for like every other month, and we go to the shows, and for us it's just an excuse to meet up and get. I'll be honest with you, get really drunk. I know.
Really?
Yeah, I get fucking hammered, and so we go and do that. But when we're at these shows, and we're like getting drunk and shouting out words like and stuff, you know, at the top of our voice. I'm in my 30s. We're having a good time, but you'll get these other fans who see like somebody get like suplexed or whatever, and they'll go. It's like, have fun, you fucking dickheads! It's a fucking night out. Like, and then during the intermission, there'll be fans. You hear them. They'll speak to the wrestlers at the signing table. They'll go, "Hey, do you remember when we spoke last time and we spoke about the fucking, I don't know, the Bruce Springsteen box set or whatever?" And then the wrestlers go, "Oh, I think so. Instead of going, "No, you fucking I don't know who you are. Buy the shirt and fuck off."
How do you say no? You can't say no. That's rude.
Me?
Anyone. Do you remember when I met you in 1997? You were wearing the red dress and the green shoes and blah blah blah. And I go, "Oh, maybe, I don't know." Now, if I would have said no, give me your money and leave, do you think that guy's going to buy a shirt or a picture or whatever I'm selling? He's not. You have to have a certain aura about you when you sit at these conventions, and you have to know how to handle people.
Yeah,
and apparently,
Chad.
you don't know how to handle people.
Oh, I know how to handle people. I've been
You're
arrested.
handling them the wrong way.
Yeah.
Wrong.
And speaking of handling, if Alicia and MJF doesn't work out, hit me up on MySpace, bitch.
MySpace. God.
Okay.
Anyway.
To the first question. Oh, and also, Merry Christmas.